everybody, and welcome to Ask the Answers podcast with myself, Adele. And today we are joined back on the podcast by the wonderful, the knowledgeable, the very interesting, the beautiful Sherry.
Hi, Adele. Hi, everybody. Thank you so much for having me here again today. I always look forward to these talks. They're just so spiritual and enlightening. Thank you.
Absolutely, I love it. I feel like you've almost been following me on my own journey, and it's just like so much has happened since our first conversation on the podcast to where we are now. And even before the podcast, I was running around going, I need some paper, I need a pen to write down what she's going to say.
Yeah, you might have to listen to this podcast a few times, because I feel the same about you. A lot of the things that are happening in your life, we're in alignment.
Yeah, brilliant.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I'm sure so much has happened since we've last spoken, but I mean, where do you want to go with this podcast? What are we going to be looking at?
Yeah, so we are heading into eclipse season in just a few days. Next week, that starts with the full moon in Pisces, right? Eclipse season is quite intense. Then we have a lot going on where September is going to bring in. It's also Virgo season. We've already started that. If some of you are feeling, I'm definitely feeling it. It's a energy of refinement. Like I find myself scrubbing like details and cleaning things, making them new. Like it's so therapeutic. So it's refinement, like I said, like everything to the T. So what eclipse season is going to bring out what's unfinished, especially things that maybe were pushed away around May 2025. So those things are going to come up, whether they were projects, work agreements, things that are unfinished that was put off and forgotten are going to surface. And we're also going to have Saturn in Pisces, which is going to show us where we need to put effort in responsibly. So whether that's your health, your relationships, self-development, a job, whatever this is to you, your routine. And it makes sense, right? It's back to school time with the kids.
Yeah.
Get back into routine with them. And I like Saturn, honestly, because it helps me to evolve and to discipline in a structured way. Because we can't be la la and just free all the time. Like we have our dream space to do that and our passion projects, but there's going to be choices that are going to be made, in September, whether we're going to be done fully and completely with something. And there's no escaping this. There's no taking the back door. This transit is going to go on for the next 5.5 months. But the good news is we're all going to have a renewed sense of like spiritual understanding at the end of it. There's growth, right? So I pulled some cards for us ahead of time and meditated on the overall energy, Adele. And there were, I mean, it's crazy because I got Empress energy in the past from 2 different decks, so you can't make this up, which tells me Empress energy is very fertile, it's very feminine, it's very balanced feminine. It's like someone who trusts themselves, is comfortable in their own skin, and because they stopped ignoring 2 of Swords and brushing things under the rug, this is the recent past. As we're heading into September, since we took the blindfolds off to things that we really couldn't ignore, which Saturn and Pisces is going to bring up, during this transit. Queen of Pentacles in the present, we come up as an overall collective and individual energy, meaning, there could be you feeling like, wow, I'm really dependent on the situation. Wow, it's like, I'm working for someone who doesn't really appreciate or see my value. Like these things, you're going to be putting in effort, like I said, using the Virgo energy to refine yourself, to take that new class on the side, to work a part-time gig, to get you into this new life, which is Ace of Pentacles. This is a major arcana card, Adele. Like a lot of us are going to be working really hard, nose to the grindstone, refining our skills. You're going to have a busy 8 months with your Ask the Answer podcast and whatever else you're doing on the side. And that's going to lead to a new life by end of the year, going into January even. Right? So this is divine purpose. This is all the doors that were once closed are going to start to open if you are diligent. Okay, if and not everybody wants to do the work, Adele. Not everybody has the patience, but a
Yeah.
lot of us will be forced, like I said, to come out of our comfort zone, and how our personal identity is related with the things that we're doing. What are we bringing in? Are we ready to address the higher understanding? That is what, to me, Virgo season's energy feels like. And it's a struggle because you're going to be in your head. I need this job. I need this situation. That person is so influential and resourceful, but on the other end, they're so draining to my energy. Do I keep this in my life? Like, you're going to know. You're going to start to know these, this eclipse in Pisces that's meant to guide us again into higher spirit, to a higher spiritual path, Adele.
Okay.
That's going to open up to more of what we're ready for, and get rid of what no longer serves and works for us. And it's an individual journey, but the more of us awaken, the more we change the collective energy for the better, right? It's who's real and what's real. What you thought once had a grip on you will no longer have a grip. Do you feel any of these starting? Because I'm already starting to feel this ahead of the transits in your life.
Yeah. Yeah, no, absolutely. I mean, the last few months has been a bit of a shift and a change in our lives. My husband obviously got me redundant, that we were aware of, from the earlier podcast that we did. He's now started his new job, which he's started the last few weeks, which isn't exactly the job that he wanted. It is beneath the role that he was originally doing, but so he's almost had to take a step back. But from that, I always said, look at the positives. It's going to be something else you're going to learn. It's going to be other people you're going to meet. It might lead to another position, or you might get promoted in some sort of way. But for him, it was important for him to get a job, even though he has his redundancy, package, to make sure that he's safe and he's got that job. And if it doesn't work out in the new year, he can look for something else. But in the meantime, he's got that security. He's got the money coming in, and you never know where that job might lead to, while he's waiting maybe for something better to come his way, if it does, or it might be where he's staying now. So he's been looking at that, and again, having to learn new skills. And we've all had to change our routine a little bit. So, me doing extra pickups or taking the kids to their clubs, and sort of, a bit of shift, trying to get that balance. And then in the meantime, with myself and my son, he said at the beginning of the summer holidays, I'd like to have a project, Mum. And I said, okay, yeah, what's your project? And he said, oh, I want to have a clothing range. And I said, okay, well, if you're going to do a clothing range, you might as well do it with something that you're passionate about, which is rugby. He loves his rugby. Anyway, so the last few weeks he's done, well, not a few weeks, last sort of, well, I suppose, yeah, it has been about just over a few weeks. He's come up with all these designs. They're now all in the warehouse. All these clothes are being made, from the rugby shorts, T-shirts, training tops. And yeah, we're just trying to get it all together to do some pop-up shops and do that. But I found today, you were saying about sorting things out and refining things. The rugby shorts that I have sourced from, a warehouse have all come in all these different sizes that don't make any sense, or they're all like mixed up. So I've been trying to figure it all out. What size means that? What size means that? These sizes say they're the same, but they're not. And I was just like, this afternoon, I was like, oh no, like, why is it so complicated? Why can't it just be small, medium, large?
Right. So that's you utilizing the Virgo energy, wanting to sort things, like it's the energy of precision, right? It's like cut to the chase, like. And like I said, like, it's therapeutic at the same time, because my mother always told me, your room is a reflection of what's going on in there, right? So if you have a scattered room, that means you have scattered thoughts and energy. So
Yeah.
I can appreciate that wisdom in a different way now, especially during this transit. So I thank you for sharing that. I'm excited to hear that. It's what is happiness to us. That's all leading us to the with this Virgo. We have a new moon, a double Virgo moon again, which is a solar eclipse. Again, questioning what's real, because what if you want to create your own system with the small, medium, large? Maybe like it's us not just settling in what we're used to, but it's also refining it and maybe creating something, right? There's gonna, I wanted to say this point earlier before I forget. There's gonna be a lot of us that are gonna resent when she's in reverse, the Queen of Pentacles, there's a lot of resentment because it became codependent, right? It became all about one person, or you gave so much that's why you have resentment. But that's what these major transits that are going to bring in too. There's going to be relationships, okay, partnerships that will not move forward, right? Because anybody living in a facade, on wearing a mask, that's all going to come to surface. Anybody with malice intent, truth are going to be revealed, during this time, the next 5.5 months. So on the opposite end of that, though, there's always, the positive, which is connections that have a much more higher spiritual vibration and have a multidimensional, like our connection component to it, are going to increase in harmony. They're going to strengthen, and that's what's special about this, is if you are able to leave behind what doesn't serve you. 10 of Cups in the future, in the reverse. Some cards you want to see in the reverse. I know, and I understand that some readers don't read reverses because they just don't. But for me, the way my style of reading is, I read them because it shows me the blocks. It shows me where you're not able to break through that pattern. It shows me where you're holding resentment, right? And in order to flow much easier through the cycles of life, you can't hold those things, because that creates sickness in your mind and then eventually in your body if you are holding negative energy, right? So you're only hurting yourself if you're not forgiving. You're only hurting yourself if you're not, all those things that we store in our bodies can affect the chakras, right? And I talk a lot about that in my readings and the videos, and during my client sessions. I have some special people that I've met on there that have become regulars, and I'm so grateful to them. Like one man, Mark, he always says to me, like, I can't talk to anyone about this stuff. Like, he has no community where he is. And that's why he loves Ask the Answer, because he has his favorite go-tos, me being one of them. And, and I love it because he's so open-minded. He's willing to learn. He puts his guard down and talks, and even shares his journey with me, his spiritual journey. So I'm so grateful to Ask the Answer, to be able to connect with humanity in that way. Adele.
Can it be quite a frustrating time at the moment for people? Can they be feeling a bit tired at the moment if you're trying to refine things and it's not coming to fruition? Or is it quite an energetic time where things are moving for people?
Spot on, because the Virgo card, I didn't pull it out, but it's a hermit on the tarot card. Virgo represents the hermit, going within, resting, right? Sometimes people get tired because it's caused by overthinking, overanalyzing in your head too much, can create psychosomatic illness, causing exhaustion, lethargy. And for me, for decades of doing that, because I didn't realize that I had a fast mind. I didn't realize that I had to channel that in different ways, like through the work I'm doing, right? I wasn't doing it yet. And I was always in my head, and that actually made me so fatigued. Yeah. So yes, if your body calls for rest, it's also called your spirit, your higher self, calling you to rest your mind, to surrender to however that is for you. For some people, they can get deep rest by walking in nature, connecting to the trees and the birds, and in silence, away from technology. For some people, that could be cooking an amazing meal. So for some people, it could be working out and being able to zone into your body and ground your energy. For some people, it could be helping people, because it gets you off your problems, and your problems look so minuscule compared to when other people are in need, or what's happening to them in their lives. So grounding can mean different things for everyone. So you're spot on about that. What did you notice? Are you feeling the fatigue too?
Yeah, I have. I really have. I mean, and again, I don't know if it is, at that age where you're going into being, that menopause stage. Is it, low iron deficiency? Is it the fact that I'm just thinking and doing too much stuff? But I feel that my work life, I've got a nice balance. When I go to work, I feel great when I do my workouts. I haven't been taking on too many massages because obviously it's been the summer holidays. I've had the kids around, so I haven't tried to overload myself with anything like that. And then just trying to help my son, get the fashion stuff off. But yeah, definitely by 3 o'clock, I've been having like little naps, which is not really like me, So yeah, I've definitely been feeling a bit more tired recently.
Right. So honor those things, honor the moment to catch your breath and to take naps. I've been taking naps throughout August. I noticed that I can't even help it. I just have to shut it down because I'd be useless and not be able to be in full service if I was tired. That wouldn't be
Yeah.
fair. Right. So I shut everything down and I take the nap. Sometimes I don't even put an alarm clock. Sometimes it requires a 40-minute nap, sometimes a 2 to 3 hour nap.
Yeah.
You know that feeling when you wake up and you think it's the next day because it's so dark outside? It's like it's so deja vu when I wake up sometimes like that. I feel like I'm traveling during sleep. But yeah, a lot of one-on-one relationships are going to be questioned. Do you have an equal you know exchange there of energy? And it's not tit for tat. That's not what I'm talking about. Your energy. So when you give, you do, like they pay for us our time here. They value our time, right? You're getting paid when you get a reading. They're respecting the craft, which is beautiful. And more of those more holistic type healings are going to be coming up, and be people are going to be more open and or be educated during this transit as well, because with the advances in technology as everyone is experiencing, I mean, there's going to be things that we're going to be learning that were never ever exposed or disclosed in the public platform. So it's important we do our due diligence because there's a new life starting. Ace of Pentacles is new, new, new. This is taking action on our ideas that maybe we once had, but we didn't have time. And because of that double Empress energy in the past, we started nurturing ourselves, or we're going to be. Some of us are having that. We're all on different ends of the spectrum. So a lot of us are in different parts of the journey. And like I said, putting your nose to the grindstone and like refining your skills, because repetition. This is also the card of energy of repetition. That's how I eventually felt more comfortable in my skin, sharing my gifts with the world, both online, on the phone, in person, is because of repetition. And when you just like with anything, you become good at it, and you could do it with your eyes closed. It becomes a part of you, like driving. You just need practice. And a lot of my clients also, I notice, Adele, are starting to move into tuning into their natural talents, because they want a new way out. They're feeling burdened. 10 of Wands with the resentment card with Queen of Pentacles. I clarified this just now. That's end of a cycle. Okay, cycles go from 0 to 10, and it's like there's no more going back, because whatever responsibilities, especially some of us will feel it, because I know at the end of my teaching career, it's not that I didn't love my job, because I love the children. I just didn't like the culture and the politics around it. And it can cause people to go into competition rather than collaboration,
Yeah.
And that drained me. And so, overstressed people are feeling it. Some teachers are going to be questioning, like, I feel overstressed, I don't feel excited. And that's not good for our children. The children are our future. We need teachers that want to be there, right? So it's going to make us question things. It's going to make us question. And since since the last eclipse, Adele, you shared your story, how you lighten your burdens. And when you do, what happens? You get lighter, you feel comfortable, you use what you have. Right? You learn to work with what you have, and you get more inspired ideas. That's what the magician energy brings in, right? And not with the regular matrix calendar that everybody's used to, but there's also the Mayan calendar, and there's so many types of. There's the Gregorian, like there's a lot of there's energetic like calendars I go by in the spiritual world, where like the zodiac, for instance, like Aries season starts in March, right? To me, that's like the beginning of the new year, not January, where we were kind of told.
Yeah.
So like there's a lot of cool things to learn, that goes back to history, that I think people are going to start to question. People are going to start to integrate into their lives, because the magician is a leader. They're a visionary, and we all have that in us. right? We could go to our garden and find roots, dandelion. They're like, people could consider that weeds, but it's actually, if you boil it up in a tea, it's a healing tea. It's medicinal. Like, people don't know this,
Mm-hmm.
and you could make your own if you have plenty of it in your yard or your garden, and or pay $12 a box, because
Yeah.
that's how dandelion organic tea costs, right?
Yeah.
So, see, there's the lemniscate above his head.
Yeah.
That means the infinity sign connected to source, God, universe, whatever that is for the people here listening. This is really imagining and make knowing within you your higher self with guidance, internal guidance, that you can make anything real.
Mm-hmm.
Right? Somehow you manifested this podcast, and it met with Ask the Answers dream.
Mm-hmm.
That's how our dreams collide. That's why we're all infinitely connected, right? And those dreams are not our own. And I think I've said that before. Um, they're from the divine, and they're meant to come through us. So when people say I have a dream, I'm like, oh, so you had a premonition. Not a dream. It's just a matter of time before you make that into a reality, depending on the path you take.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, how do you know so much? You're so articulate. You just make things make sense. You can just sit and listen to you for hours. I mean, where do
Oh,
you get it all from?
okay. So some of it is innately. Some of it is because, well, honestly, since I was a little, I just follow where my curiosity takes me. And I've
Mm-hmm.
always been this way. When I was a little girl paying at the register, I'm excited to go to the magazine and look at the horoscopes. I subscribe to magazines not just for the fashion, but for the horoscopes, mainly, predominantly for that reason, because I was always drawn to it. And I didn't know I was going to be doing monthly forecasts later on in my life, but I
Yeah.
had a hint. I had a hint.
Wow.
So, in between calls, in the beginning of this creative work that I've been doing for over 9 years now, it's it allows you the time behind the scenes to study.
Mm-hmm.
Some things can be studied, some things, yes, textbook, but I don't like that. I think not just textbook, because you're just regurgitating. I feel when you trust what you're learning, you have that magician in you to learn to put the puzzle pieces together, just like you're saying energetically, this is what I feel, Sherry, and why this is happening. And honestly, I've always had that magical, mystical lens. I always see things as signs, and people may think I'm crazy, but no, like numbers being repeated.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, a lot of clients come here and they're like, wow, I've been seeing 1111, 111, 222. Yes, that's your guides. That's your internal compass showing you that you are on the right path. And for me, especially as you're heading towards the major numbers like 555, 999, it's sometimes showing you that change is coming. Prepare. So you can't say when calamity comes, oh my God, where did this come from? No, you've been guided the entire time.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
you're either going to take that as fear, or you're going to take it as wisdom and love, that you're being supported and you will be fine. It's
Mm-hmm.
just getting through it, and trusting to keep your vision on what you want to see happen, not what you don't want to see. And then aligning your actions with not trying to stop what's happening.
Mm-hmm.
Mhm. And going with it and trusting. I don't know what's going to happen next, but I'm so open.
Yeah.
And I still say that when I talk to people. I don't know how I'm making it, but I'm making it. I
Yeah.
don't know how. I don't know how, but I'm thriving.
Yeah.
And there's
Just in the right place.
yeah. And I'm just saying, like, don't and there's going to be some of the clients I speak to, they have teenagers or people that are finished college, that they didn't jump into the workforce yet, and they could be page of pentacles in reverse. They could be looking at their child, they're worried about their child, like, I don't know, they need a job, they need stability. No, but I think that with the page of pentacles in reverse, they're meant to go a different way. So
Mm-hmm.
it's kind of like the way you're supporting your child with the rugby idea. Like, yes, education is important, as long as the education is something that they are led by spirit and heart, and wanting to do, and not just doing it for the piece of paper. right? Because a piece of paper does not validate our worth. We were created uniquely, like I said, for dreams of the universe to come through us. So we all already know the answer within us. We just have to unlock that. And in order to unlock the intuition goes beyond logic and the five senses. So to answer your question, that's how I allow spirit to flow through me. So it's not really me, because we're still human. We're still going to analyze, but I don't stay there in that space too much.
Yeah.
I just say it. Like, for instance, I'm at the bus stop station, and I feel compelled to say hi or compliment someone. That's yes, that's being human and kind, and you want interaction, but that's also maybe, you needed to make that person's day or something,
Yeah.
and spirit leading you. So you can't really you can't put it in a black or white thing. Its intuition is much stronger. It can't be proven. It's the same thing we're going to be going through. Like, for example, I put my intuition aside with people sometimes, because I see the best in people and I like to see the best in people, but my intuition also tells me that they're not ready, or they have insecurities, and insecurities, doubts, fears can create a lower frequency in people, and they can push you away in a negative way. They can drain your energy. They can be jealous of you or envious of you behind the scenes, and in your face they're smiling, and I push my intuition away, because I like to give chances to people, because that's how I am. I'm a lover, I'm a nurturer, but then, I don't want to be in resentment, because I gave to a taker.
Yeah.
And so my boundaries, I've noticed since the past month and a half, naturally have just increased. And it's not to say that I have my walls up. No, it's integrity. It's knowing my worth. And what happens is new people are coming in when you don't hang on, just
Yeah.
because you don't look at it that way. Like, don't go into victim. Okay. And it is a lonely path as you're transitioning, as learning to sit with that loneliness is medicine. Have you had time to sit with your higher self, and in private on your own? Do you give yourself that time, Adele?
Probably not recently. I mean, even if it is the most smallest thing, like when we were on holiday, I just found it all a bit too much. It wasn't just our normal like beach resort holiday where I got time to switch off and like lie on a sunbed. It was a bit of an activity holiday, but it got to a point where I said to my husband, "I'm just gonna have to go back to like our lodge just to have a half hour, just literally just silence and just quiet, and just to switch off." I felt that I just needed that, and even still now, I feel that. I think again maybe it's been over the summer holidays, but just having some quiet time, because I love my children, but they're there constantly, and there's so much I want to do, but then you feel like you're trying to give that energy to your children, you're trying to work, and I'm trying to set up a new business. It's just a bit like, oh, I just want a bit of quiet time. And then when I go to work, obviously I'm trying to perform in front of my fitness class and keeping their energy going, and it's just like just want a little bit of quiet time. So yes, recently I would say no.
Okay. Well, find space and find solace, even if it's for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Adele, even if it's to just, mommy needs 10 minutes in her room.
Yeah.
That's it. That's asserting boundaries in a kind, loving way, and honoring your soul. I pulled a few more cards on top of confirming what happens when we walk away from things that no longer serve us, because at a core individual level, this has to do with our own internal balance between our masculine and feminine energies, yin and yang, right? And when you have that balance, there's equilibrium, and there's going to be, you're going to be able to have this, like you are recognizing in me, a full healthy expression of it, right? How are you able to do that? Because I'm balanced. I'm not overstepping. I'm not overgiving. I'm receiving at the same time. It's everything we do is a balance. We have to learn to when to know when to speak, when to listen. It's a dance with everything. Everything's kind of binary in that sense, is what I'm learning on this path. So when we walk away for the things that no longer serve us, whether it's jobs, communities, people, habits, whatever that is, what's going to happen is you're going to start to call in and attract help when we need it. It could be a book on the shelf. It could be Ask the Answer website. You come along and you're scrolling and you're like, oh my God, this, that these things come, and it's your soul is gonna feel a pull to it, and you're gonna end up somehow incorporating or collaborating with whatever this is, this sign, this express. It's gonna help you to know that, oh, what am I here to express in the world? So when you have a healthy balance of your feminine and masculine energy, you will have what it takes to build confidence as a visionary, as a leader, but still be a leader and masculine, but still be feminine and soft.
Yeah.
Like that yin and yang balance is beautiful. And then when you embody that energy and not perform it, because you can tell when people are performing it.
Yeah.
Right. It's overdone. It's a bit of it's a little, you can feel it's too much. Yeah. It's not authentic. So authenticity brings in the right people, the right situations. I just manifested a babysitting gig. I wouldn't even say babysitting because she's 10 and she's independent. I don't have to hold her hand to anything. She just needs someone to pick her up from the bus and stay with her till mom and dad come home from work. It's amazing. And and because I mentioned that I had a teacher background for 13 years, I'm able to ask for the rate that I desire. This is called manifesting. Had I not, and I found that on an app, it's called Nextdoor, where we are in USA. So people are always needing help. There is always work, right? Of course, my passion is here and helping people, but that's also doing that in the 3D. You're still helping people. So that is a passion of mine. And it gives me that remnants of being able to be, a mother and a teacher and in the family. I get a little bit of family in that structure, and I feel appreciated.
Yeah.
So, and when you're on the creative path, Adele, as you know, we have to do a couple of things. We can't rely on one thing. And I had to learn that the hard way, right? You have to have a few things going on, and that's how you build into full healthy expression of your creative and spiritual, emotional gifts.
Yeah.
So stability, and it leads to stability for all of us with the Four of Wands, by the way. Okay, let this go because this is coming in for our listeners. Whoever's hearing this, this is you did it before. You built a foundation. Once you learn how to build a foundation, you will gain this sense of autonomy and sovereignty, where you'll make better choices. I stopped buying coffee out there for years. I started making my own coffee. A lot of people, or you meet other creatives who do a trade with you. For example, my neighbor says her son does hair part-time, because he's just starting. He's still in high school. I'm like, oh, I'm happy to support him and support me and do my hair. Like, maybe, a minor thing, because I'm very loyal to hairdressers, right? I try to stick to the one that I really admire, but that's what creativity is. The right people are going to find you when you are in alignment with what you are truly here to do as a humanitarian. Adele, you have multiple gifts you're sharing with us. Your health and wellness, your passion for that. You're sharing that. You're getting people up and energized and helping them transform their bodies, right? You're not doing it for them. You're guiding them. This platform that you're working with, the podcast, you're helping people speak their truth. You're helping us share our stories. You're helping us be seen and be heard. Like, that's a big deal. That's a big role you have. You have the mother role, the wife role. You have you have so many roles in your brain.
Yes.
And healers and helpers need help too.
Yeah. But funny enough, I said exactly the same thing to my husband today. Just obviously with, again, starting the business with the clothing stuff with my son. I said, I feel like I'm a one-man band. I feel like I'm ready to go, but I don't have the people around me. I feel like and that's why I'm feeling frustrated at the moment, because I know what I want. I know what designs I want. I know I want to get things going, but I don't have that support around me. So am I wasting my time, my energy? Is it a flash in the pan? Do I just be persistent and patient? I think that's where I'm at the moment. My energy's a bit like, do I invest all this time and money for something that's not actually really worth it? Or actually, could it be something good and I should, just, I don't know, just like refine it and see if I can get it going?
Oh, that's where you have to find the peace, right? So that, because what happens is where you're unsure, that's when you tune in and go within through meditative practices, walking in nature, calming, and just even closing your eyes and taking 3 deep breaths, right? And exhaling.
Mm-hmm.
What you're doing is you're connecting to your spirit, and your spirit will show you the way. You can ask for help in that way.
Yeah.
Please show, 35 on the clock when I said that. So that's how you start to align. And then what happens is you move away from the black or white thinking. Should I? It's not always a clear yes and no. It's going to be it's intuition will lead the way, even if you can't explain it. Because the fact that you're questioning something, that's one sign, right? It depends on the context, of course. Like, should I stay in this marriage? Should I stay in this job? When all intuition and hits and guidance, your inner guidance saying, I'm not really that content, but I know I have to stay for the paycheck. I know I have to stay because I'm needed here, but we're not happy. So writing things down does help too, the
Mm-hmm.
pros and the cons, right? Seeing. And then when you write the pros and the cons, you're going to meditate and you're going to see the in between, because if you you're going to have some people, what stops them mostly, I notice in doing one-on-one sessions with people, they don't feel worthy to start something else. They look at Hollywood and think, oh, I don't have that star quality. I don't have what it takes to create my own business, my own page, my own this, whatever that is for the people that wanted to explore their creativity, right? Just go back to the basics. Start journaling. Go pick some flowers, be a child, get out in nature, spend time with children. That's why I love babysitting gigs, because I love being around children. They don't judge. They get over things so easy. When you're with adults, it's so draining sometimes because they're caught up in their own world, right? And they forget to lighten up sometimes. I love being around animals and dogs because they're just unconditional love.
Yeah.
And that's a reflection of what I am inside. So I forgot why I was saying this point, but when you reach out for help, like people come to us to ask the answer. And if you ask your husband, like, I could use support. I could use a mini babysitter so I can go explore this. And I'm just saying, for instance, in your situation, you feel like sometimes you need a little support. It's not a bad thing to ask for help, because there are people who are willing to do what you don't have time for, or the
Mm-hmm.
energy for, right? And they're really good at it. They're really good and patient with it. So you could do other things.
Yeah.
Delegation is important, Adele.
Mm.
So, and I think it's just, again, finding the balance and getting out of your head, because what happens is it's called a mental prison. The 10 of Swords card in tarot is about restriction, mental restriction. We overthink things so much that it stops us from actually moving forward. Do you find
Yeah.
yourself doing that sometimes?
Yeah, no, absolutely. I think, yeah, I definitely have there this afternoon. I have. I think I freed up enough time to be able to do things. Maybe, maybe, maybe. But yeah, it's more like contacts. I just need to know the right people to ask, and like I said, I know that I can do these things, and I feel that as I'm freed up enough time to do what I want to do. But it's just finding those professional people. There's so many just people that waste your time, take too long, aren't doing the right job. I don't know. Yeah.
Look up something like even in the community apps. Like I said, see if you have something like next door to you, because there are people who are willing to do it for free, even like because they just want to help.
Yeah.
And yeah, so I think for you, this is going to be refined. This is something
Definitely.
that, this habit of yours of overthinking and that's gonna that's going to break for you, because you're meant to be working a lot of creative projects like this, because you have the dexterity, the wit, the grit to balance your stuff, as long as you're giving yourself breaks. But and remember, when doors are not open, it's because another one is meant to open. So don't keep trying to open that.
Yeah, no, exactly.
Yeah. I wanted to pull a charm for us.
Yeah, nice.
Not sure how much time we have left.
Oh yes, I haven't even been looking at the time.
Oh,
myself.
That's a compliment then. I love talking to you.
Oh,
So, message for the collective. I use these in my readings too. I bought this beautiful Hamza bag, and it has like charms.
Oh my God! No, my son bought me this yesterday.
Oh my God, we're so in alignment.
He bought it yesterday for me. He said, "Mum, I bought you a little bracelet." The first time he's ever bought me anything. He's only 12, but it's like the same thing.
Yes, Mr. Hamza. It's protection.
Oh my God!
Yeah. I always was in love with the Hamza. I always was drawn to it. I pulled out 3. I don't know how, because they're so tiny, so I'm going to take them all. So we got the monkey, which represents to me the monkey mind, what we just talked about, to get out of your monkey mind, okay?
Yeah.
And then I got a paw print from a dog here. So go out and walk with your dog or your pet, if you have one, or go take yourself for a walk.
Yeah,
because you're gonna find something. And I got starfish, right? So maybe some of us are being called to the water. Go by the water. There's gonna be something magical that's gonna star to me is Aquarius. So Aquarius energy is a water bearer. You're gonna be able to release through the connection with water and being around the energy of water, emotions, and release the overthinking and the analytical monkey brain, right? So it's so weird how that all resonated.
Yeah.
And you can't make this stuff up.
Yeah.
So I do have a beach park here that I go to almost every day when I can, when I make the time for it. And I might not see a starfish, but you never know. But I always find something on my walk. I always find something that nature pulls my attention to that's magical, because just like those whatever sea plants or whatever trees, there's some exotic like balls that I see with little thorns on them, like you don't really see every day, right? So it reminds you that those things are always provided for. Those things come back every season, and they never beg or worry. It just stands still. It's very stoic. Of course, we're human. We're a species that have emotions, which makes us very special. So it's just learning that balance and having the alignment with mind, body, soul, Adele. And I think that's what you and I are here to remind people of, because I said on one of my posts the other day that life is really just a moment in space. So how are you going to live it? What are you going to share with the world? What are you going to express? And I think that Virgo season is going to help a lot of us go deeper and have a better, higher understanding of what we're here to do.
Brilliant. I love it. Well, we're off to the beach on Saturday, so I'm going to look out for some signs.
Please post your starfish if you find one.
Oh my God.
That would be so magical if you do. Oh my God.
My son's got his first boxing fight, and it's by the beach. So we're all going down to watch him, but we're going to go down there early because he's got to have his medicals and things done. So maybe we'll see what's around.
Please do let us know in the next podcast.
Oh, for sure. Well, this is very exciting. Thank you so much for sharing what's going on and how it might be influencing people, and food for thought and lots for people to put into practice off the back of this podcast. Sherry, it's been a pleasure as always. Thank you so much, and I look forward to our next catch up.
Likewise. Thank you, Adele. Bye, everybody.
Take care. Oh, Sherry, what's your PIN number quickly before we go?
500 640, I believe.
Perfect. And if you want to go through
640.
Amazing. There you go, listeners. If you want to go through and have a phone reading with Sherry on Ask the Answer, that is her PIN number. Thank you very much, Sherry.
Bye, Adele.
Bye.
Thank you.